I talk about the original Super Mario Bros. A lot on my channel. It's a culturally significant game, and when new things happen, it's a big deal. But there's another iconic game that came out before this one, the game where it all truly started, Donkey Kong. And something brand new has happened in that game. For years, there's been the same limit for how long you could play. A lot of these old arcade games had kill screens when you got really deep into them, and Donkey Kong's kill screen is one of the most famous ones. But Donkey Kong's kill screen is a lie. It's not the end of the game. After 44 years, someone finally found a way to get past it. And that someone is me. How did I do it? And just how high can you climb now? Stick around to find out. I'll break down how to beat the kill screen for you soon, but for this video to be possible, I first need to tell you about this video's sponsor, Displate. Displates are metal posters, which is cool for a few reasons. That gives them a unique look, nice and shiny and vibrant. They're sturdy and you don't really have to worry about tearing them or anything. And it means they can be mounted with magnets. So it's super easy to mount them in the first place. You don't need anything to hang them up besides what comes in the box. And once you do, you can easily switch them out whenever you want. They also have a new feature called Textra, which can give designs an extra layer of depth and look really cool. By far, the biggest perk of Displate, in my opinion, is the sheer variety of designs. Whatever you're into, there's something on the website that you'll like. Whether you're into gaming, or art and nature, or gaming. No, but seriously, they have an impressive number of options. If you're interested in trying Displate, click the link in the description and use code COSMIC at checkout. You'll get 25% off of one Displate, or 30% off if you order 2 or more. Alright, let's take a step back and explain some things about Donkey Kong. The first part of this video will be explaining details of how the game works and why the kill screen happens. This is all very important information to help you understand the rest of the video, so please don't skip it. And then, in part 2 of the video, I'll tell you the story of how Donkey Kong's kill screen was finally solved. As far as Donkey Kong goes, you're most likely familiar with this game in general. Jumpman climbs through various screens to rescue Pauline from Donkey Kong. There are several different versions of Donkey Kong though, so let's make sure we're all on the same page. Your exposure to this game may come from the NES version, or even through like Donkey Kong 64, but those are different from the arcade version. And in 1981, when the game came out in arcades, there were a few different versions even back then. The standard version that's used for competition is called US Set 1, and it goes like this. On level 1, you start with the barrel board. This is the iconic screen where you run up red girders and jump barrels. Once you beat it, you play the rivets screen, where you unplug 8 rivets to make DK fall down and rescue Pauline. After a short fanfare, level 2 begins. For the most part, it's more of the same on the first screen, but the next screen is new. This board is usually called springs or elevators. I'm sure you can guess why. Once you beat it, you play the rivet screen again, and you can clear level 2. Level 3 again starts with barrels, but afterward we get another new screen, the pie board. This is the 4th and final level type you can get in Donkey Kong. Ultimately, level 3 goes barrels, pies, springs, rivets. Level 4 goes barrels, pies, barrels again, springs, rivets. And finally, level 5 goes barrels, pies, barrels, springs, barrels for a 3rd time, and finally, rivets. Each level also gets progressively more difficult. Barrels will come down ladders more often, DK can throw them in some really crazy zigzag patterns, fireballs start to move faster, there's more fireballs on the pie board, the springs move faster and faster, and the bonus timer ticks down faster with each level. Once you get to level 5 though, that's the max difficulty setting. When you beat level 5, you will continue on to level 6, but everything remains the same. You play the same set of screens, and everything will behave the same way for the rest of the game. Or at least, it's supposed to. See, high-level players can play this game for a long time. They employ fascinating strategies on every screen, influencing where the barrels go so you can group them for more points, or just steer them out of the way, influencing which side of this oil can the fireballs jump out of, watching for a good sequence of springs so they can get past the insane barrage of springs on level 5, and trapping the firefoxes on the rivet stage so they're stuck and out of the way. Just to name a few strategies that they use. With these strategies and raw skill, they could essentially play forever. if the game would let them. To beat level 5, you have to clear 20 screens. And almost 100 screens later, on the first barrel stage of level 22, 117 boards into the game, you die. Jumpman, or as we know him today, Mario, he just dies. He's out of juice at this point, I guess. You can play this level for something like 8 seconds, smash a couple barrels at best, and then he's toast. This is the kill screen. Why does this happen? Kill screens are a phenomenon in a number of old games. They were a lot more common back then because of the limited capacities of the older systems. At the time, a lot of people assumed the game just sort of ran out of memory and couldn't properly generate the next level, which isn't a terrible idea, but nowadays we're in a place to analyze the games much better and tell you exactly what's going on. So, here's why the kill screen happens in Donkey Kong. One of the main reasons it happens is because this game is 8-bit. A simplified explanation of what that means is that they had a very limited range of numbers to work with when programming the game. For example, the screen could only be 256 pixels wide or tall, which is not very much. Now, this next part might seem a little random, but it's going to be very relevant later in the video. Have you ever seen a glitch in an old game where the top and bottom of the screen seem to be connected? Or maybe the left and right side? This happens because as you approach the edge of the screen, you're approaching the limit of how high the game can count. What happens if you go 255 pixels up on the screen and then go up some more? The number overflows and wraps back around to 0. Essentially, 256 and 0 are the same number, and 257 and 1 are the same number, and so on. The same is true if you go down to 0 and then try and go even lower. The number underflows and wraps around to 255. This phenomenon applies in a few ways in Donkey Kong, and it's directly responsible for the kill screen. See, in the top right corner of the screen is the bonus timer. As you run through each stage, it's steadily ticking down. This not only acts as a way to score points based on how much time is left, but it also gives you a limited amount of time to finish. The length of the bonus timer is determined by what level you're on. At level 1, it starts at 5,000. On level 2, it's 6,000. Level 3, it's 7,000. And then finally on level 4, it's 8,000. And then it's 8,000 for the rest of the game. Until you reach level 22, and then it's 100? Or wait, 4,000? We suddenly die at 3,700? What? Here's what's going on. The formula to calculate the bonus timer is this. Level times 10 plus 40. Simple enough. This gives us how many times the timer can tick down. Every tick of the bonus timer is 100 points. So in game, you'll see the result multiplied by 100. For example, on level 1, it's 1 times 10 plus 40, so 50. 50 ticks of the bonus timer, or in other words, 5,000. The game keeps running this calculation on every level, and if the result is ever higher than 80, the game just goes ahead and sets the bonus timer to 80, or 8,000. By the time we get to level 21, the result comes out to 250. That's greater than 80, so it ends up getting set to 80, but we're getting close to 256, so I think you can see where this is going. On level 22, we do 22 times 10 is 220, plus 40 is 260. Uh-oh. You know what that means. At 256, we overflow to 0. So 260 is the same as 4. That means the bonus timer gets set to 400. It's less than 80, so the game goes ahead and uses it. Now you can see why you have so little time and end up dying. Also, the timer saying 3,700 when you die is actually a separate glitch that happens when you reach this point in the game. But yeah, there you have it. That's how the kill screen works. Now, let's talk about the story of the kill screen and how it was finally passed. The kill screen has been known about for decades, and the first reports of people reaching it are from very shortly after the game came out. A lot of the early history can't really be verified since there's no recorded evidence, but we do have a recorded kill screen as far back as 1999. The first kill screen we can actually watch back today is by Ben Jose Wallbeam from September 1999. This run is actually crazy to me. It's impressive people were accomplishing this stuff so early on, and it's really cool we have a recording from this far back as well. Anyway, that's been the story of Donkey Kong High Score for 40 some odd years. Players could play until level 22, and that was the end of the road. At least on the standard version that everyone competes on. I do want to mention that there's one version of the game that came out in Japan called JP Set 3, which had an interesting bug. If you stood in one precise spot on the bottom of the barrel board, you could jump off the side and fall past the bottom girder. Remember what I said earlier about the bottom and the top of the screen being connected? Yeah, Jumpman falls through the bottom of the screen and wraps around to the top and beats the stage. The game basically just waits for you to get high enough on the screen to determine whether you've reached Pauline or not. And with this glitch, Jumpman ends up plenty high on the screen for the game to consider it beaten. So yeah, on this version, you can make it over here and do this glitch within the time limit of the kill screen and beat it. This only works on one of the 5 different versions of Donkey Kong Arcade though. This version also has a different level order, and it's simply not the version of the game that people compete on. So, let's turn our attention back to the standard version of the game that's used for competition, and focus on what we're all here for, the famous level 22 kill screen of Donkey Kong. Which, for over 40 years, there was absolutely no way, not even a theoretical way, to beat this stage. Recently, however, that story has changed. Fast forward to just a few weeks ago, and that's when a certain Mario speedrunner comes along. Andrew G. Andrew G is a famous Mario speedrunner, but back in the day was also a Donkey Kong player in his own right. He achieved a kill screen of his own back in 2011. One day a few weeks ago, he started posting about a ladder glitch, wondering if it could be useful to beat the kill screen. Now, this ladder glitch is a well-known trick among the community. Most of the time, it's not super useful, although people do sometimes use it on the pie board while they're waiting for the broken ladders to go up, just to gain a little extra height. You can even do something really weird here, where you break the ladder completely and climb down past the floor.
Oh yeah, this one's for Cosmic, baby. This one's for Cosmic. Careful on these things.
This is another instance of screen wrapping from the bottom to the top to beat the pie board. This can be useful if a lot of fireballs have climbed up to the top and they just won't get out of your way. Anyway, using this trick on the pie board is well known, but something that was a bit less well known is using it on the barrel board. No, you can't climb down through the floor with this glitch on the barrel board, but you can climb up, and up, and up, and up. Why doesn't he stop when you reach the next girder? Why can't you go down through the floor like on pies? How do you even do the ladder glitch in the first place? Here's how it works. To climb ladders in general, you need to hold up or down for 5 frames, but you can also hold one of the directions for 4 frames and then switch directions for the 5th, and he'll still climb. Up isn't a valid direction when you've reached the top of a broken ladder, but down still is. So you can push down for 4 frames, then let go and hold up. That will make him do a little nudge upwards. Rinse and repeat, and you can climb infinitely. The reason he doesn't end up getting off the ladder when you reach the next girder is that he can only get off ladders at valid coordinates. All of the normal ladders are deliberately programmed with valid coordinates to enter and exit the ladder. But the broken ladders, they didn't care if the top of them ended at an invalid coordinate. Actually, this ladder in the top right just so happens to line up with a valid coordinate to dismount the ladder, so he will climb off of that one like normal. But yeah, for the rest of them, Mario isn't at a valid coordinate when he reaches the top, so he just keeps going. This is also the same reason you can go down through the floor on pies, but that one is special. Because this ladder moves, you can do the broken ladder glitch while it's moving and end up at an invalid coordinate. Now when you climb downward, he won't be at a valid coordinate to get off the ladder, so he doesn't. Anyway, back to the kill screen. Andrew G brings up the idea of using this ladder glitch to finish the kill screen in time before you die. This prompts someone in the chat to retrieve a video from 2016, a tool-assisted speedrun by Zelnia, which uses this glitch to complete level 1 quickly. Interesting, but could you actually make it up in time? Well, this is where I come in. Hello, hi, I'm Cosmic. I'm a world-class Super Mario Bros. Player, but I'm just an okay Donkey Kong player. I do have a kill screen of my own, and I think I made the most rapid progress in Donkey Kong history when I got it, but other than that, I'm really nothing special in the Donkey Kong world. But yeah, I see this conversation happening about using the broken ladder to beat the kill screen, and that's when I say, no. No way. The kill screen is way too short. There is no way this makes it up. But just to be sure, I'm gonna go try it for myself. So I booted up Donkey Kong in an emulator and then played an input file of my high score run. This is a way to play back a run you've previously recorded, and it was an easy way to fast forward to the kill screen so I could test it out. Once there, I ran to the ladder, climbed to the top, and then used frame advance so I could do the ladder glitch over and over at perfect speed and see if it was possible to reach the top. I got around halfway up the screen, and I was sure Mario was about to die at any moment. Surely. Any second now. What is happening? As he started getting near the top, my heart rate started picking up. This is insane. There's no way. What? I could not believe it. How has no one tried this before? The potential for this has just been lying dormant this whole time. Okay, I bet the longtime DK players all know about this, and I'm actually just out of the loop. Right? Wrong. This is new. I was now playing a level in this game that no one had ever played before. Can you beat this one too? You do have a short timer on this stage as well, and you need some luck with the fireballs staying out of your way, but you can make it to the top without too much trouble. This is crazy, but let's keep going. We know another barrel board is after Pies, and we should be able to do the ladder glitch to beat this one too. I went to work, making my way up, and I died. Huh, that's weird, but I think I know why. See, the bonus timer on barrel stages actually isn't a timer at all. It's actually Donkey Kong's barrel supply. Each time he throws a barrel, the bonus timer ticks down. Once he runs out of barrels to throw, you have just a few seconds, and then you'll die. Donkey Kong doesn't always roll barrels at the same rate though. Sometimes he'll pause for a little bit in between. I'm assuming that the time I made it up, he must have paused in between barrels, and that gave me some extra time to reach the top. So I just tried my hand at this stage a few more times, hoping he would take longer to send all the barrels out, and before long, I made it to the top again. Oh, this is it. Go. Go. We made it. This should be the true kill screen. 22-4, springs on level 22. We shouldn't have time to beat this stage. He'll rip off like 4 springs and we should die. Oh, the springs actually take a lot longer to come out than I thought. You can get farther than I expected. Wait, no way you can make this. You can beat it? I did not expect this. Dude, we can go farther. I really thought this stage was going to be impossible to finish. The springboard is kind of like the barrel board, where the timer ticks down once each time a new spring comes out. Normally on level 5 and above, the springs come out very quickly. If this stage behaved like level 5, we would have died somewhere around here. But it turns out, there's another bug when you get this far into the game. Just like the bonus timer got messed up by reaching level 22, the rate that springs come out also got messed up. They end up coming out even slower than the springs from level 2. We're able to complete this stage, which means another barrel board is coming up that we should be able to beat as well. I got to work doing the glitch ladder climb once again, and starting over if Donkey Kong didn't delay between rolling barrels. And this is when I learned I had gotten very lucky up to this point. I spent the next several hours trying to get to the top. We're so close. The next screen should definitely be the true kill screen. There's no way we'll finish rivets in time. But I couldn't do it. No matter what I tried, DK was not delaying the barrels long enough. The other times I'd made it up, I noticed something really interesting. Basically, to know if I was going to make it up, I would watch for when this last barrel disappeared. If it disappeared right after he rolled the previous barrel, that means he didn't delay at all. Sometimes the rolling barrel would make it over to this ladder before the stack disappeared, so that was a pretty good delay. But still not enough. The times I made it up, the barrel suddenly made it way farther before the stack disappeared. Like down the entire ladder. It seemed like you had to get super lucky, and then suddenly he would delay way longer than normal. What was going on? It was time to get to the bottom of this. Huge shout out to Sockmaster, who this video would not have been possible without. Among other things, he helped me with code analysis, as well as my friend 3Creepio. We tore through the game's code, trying to figure this out. But this game's code is not easy to understand. We would think we were onto something, and then it just wouldn't match up with what we were seeing in-game. None of our theories for this were panning out. Until, days later, we had a breakthrough. Finally, it all made sense. I'm going to have to simplify it a bit for this video, but there will be a more in-depth explanation in the description if you want to read that. Basically, there's an internal clock in the game that's always ticking, changing every frame. Based on where this clock is at when it's time for DK to roll a barrel, he'll end up delaying for anywhere from 0 to 26 frames, or close to half a second. We'll call this the initial delay. After the initial delay is done, there's a 50% chance each frame for him to start rolling a barrel. So half the time he'll roll a barrel, but the other half of the time he'll skip rolling the barrel and pause for 1 extra frame, or a 60th of a second. We'll call this a random delay. Half the time he'll do 1 random delay. A quarter of the time he'll do 2 random delays, and so on. And here's the crux of it all. If you happen to get lucky 5 times in a row, a 1 in 32 chance to get 5 random delays, then DK will do the initial delay again, so that suddenly adds another half second before you die on the kill screen. I hope that made sense. To summarize, in order to have time to beat the kill screen, you need him to do a pretty good initial delay, which he'll do about a third of the time. And then, you need to roll a 1 in 32 chance that he does an additional long delay. And that's assuming you play perfectly. Everything so far has been very hypothetical, seeing how far we could get using frame advance to play in slow motion, and save states to try a bunch of times. Let's talk about what it would take to do this for real. Let me be clear, this will not happen for real. To make it to the top, you need to do the broken ladder climb trick 90 times. And that's not just getting the inputs 90 times in a row. You have to do them as fast as possible, back to back, perfectly. If this is still sounding even remotely possible to you, let's just consider the sheer speed of it. You need to do 12 of these climbs per second, and each one involves inputting 2 different directions. Imagine doing this on a real arcade machine. Can you imagine moving an arcade joystick back and forth 24 times per second? Here, let's see someone try. This is, well, first of all, really hilarious to listen to, but also, he actually made it very far. This is a great effort, and in the end, it's not even close. To make it up, the joystick movement would have to look something like this. Just stupid looking. And this is on top of needing to get extremely lucky to have a chance of even making it up. It's just not happening. There is one method that has slightly more potential. On the Nintendo Switch version, you can push up and down simultaneously. You could hold down and then mash the up button 12 times a second. And if you held that perfectly for several seconds straight, you could maybe make it up. I tried it out for a bit, and here's one of my best attempts at doing that. While it's working, it looks pretty insane, but it falls apart too easily. Plus, you'd still have to move to the ladder perfectly and start doing the inputs as soon as possible when you reach the top of the ladder. In addition to the kill screen timer, if you aren't absolutely perfect, you will die to this barrel on your way up. I know people have done some pretty insane gaming achievements, but I think this one requires you to be too perfect. Or does it? Some of you may have wondered, could you get Donkey Kong to delay even longer? The answer is yes, but the odds shoot up very quickly. One delay is a 1 in 32 chance, as we discussed. Getting just one more long delay, we're already at over 1 in 1,000 odds. And then 1 in 32,000 for the next one, and so on. So yes, if you get impossibly lucky, you could actually just run up the board normally. It would be the easiest level of all time, since Donkey Kong wouldn't be rolling any barrels to get in your way. By my calculations, you'd need him to do 19 long delays in a row, and then you could easily make it up. The odds are 1 in 40 octillion. Good luck! Alright, anyway, back to my quest to make it as far as possible and reach the true kill screen. With a better understanding of how Donkey Kong's delays work, I went back at it trying to get a good initial delay, and then the 1 in 32 chance of making it up. This, I think, makes it. This is it, guys. This is it. Get up there, get up there, get up there. Oh, baby. Let's go. 22-6, how high can you get? Higher than anyone else ever has before, dude. Here we go. Definitely not beating this stage. The fireballs are immediately right in the way. But I'll just play and see what happens. I'm gonna die in like 3 seconds from now. There you go. The true kill screen. We made it. This is the first time anyone's gotten to the actual kill screen ever. I think everything feels fast because I've been playing in slow motion for like 7 hours today. Guys, we made it. We did it. Yes. Woo! It is done. The rivet stage on level 22 is as far as you can go. At best, you can get 6 of the 8 rivets. The true kill screen has been reached after 44 years. There you have it. That's how to beat the kill screen and make it to the true kill screen 5 screens later. With how iconic this game is, it's kind of shocking that this wasn't figured out earlier. Well, I found out later that someone did actually try and got very close, way back in 2013. In mid-2013, this thread was created called Hope for Passing the Kill Screen. Here, they discussed the ladder glitch and whether you could make it to the top. Near the end of the thread, JC, or Jeff Harris, posted this video. He was so close. He even got a good initial delay from DK. He just didn't get the 1 in 32 chance for the extra long pause. JC unfortunately passed away a few years ago, so we can't ask him what his thought process was at the time or anything like that. But a lot of the credit for passing the kill screen really should go to him. All I did was get really lucky the first time I made it up. I didn't do anything different from him. I never met or interacted with JC, but I know he was a legend and did so much for the community, and it's only right that he gets credit for getting so close all those years ago. Alright, that's it guys. I hope you enjoyed learning about Donkey Kong and coming on this journey with me of solving this game. There were some other things I wanted to get into, like exploring all the levels that come after the kill screen, if you could get there. But ultimately, I didn't have time to include them in this video. I've decided that I'll keep working on a bonus segment and post it on my Patreon sometime in the next week or so. For now, I'll leave you with a couple more thoughts. It's kind of a shame that we were so close to unlocking more of the game beyond level 22, but at the same time, we're actually very lucky that the kill screen exists on level 22. The fact that there is a definitive endpoint to the game makes high score runs much more interesting, and more about skill, rather than being more about endurance and playing forever. The final takeaway here is something I find very funny. In order to beat the kill screen, even if you play unfathomably well, you still have to get very lucky. And if you know anything about competitive Donkey Kong, that is all too fitting. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.